we talked about gold consolidating around 4,000. That's great instead of a peak. For silver to be back up over 50 as we speak, last time I looked, it was close to 51. That's completely different from the previous silver peaks up around 50. So I think the setup is very encouraging. So all those rotten tomatoes, if you want to throw them at me, I mean, it's striking, Daryl. I just got a message from some guy because I said something positive about silver. And he's like, oh, have you finally turned bullish? These people just don't listen. Okay, I mean, just because I don't say it doesn't have to go to the moon tomorrow, that doesn't mean I have not been a silver bear probably for 20 years. I should have been in 2011, but I wasn't. I've just been a cautious bull, but somehow cautious bull equals bear, and many people, pardon the rant, but it blew my mind. Like they don't hear what I'm saying. I'm saying, listen to everything I just said talking to Daryl right now. I'm giving you a positive outlook. But if it's not as positive as you want, that doesn't make me a bear.
Lobo Tigre shares his contrarian view on gold and silver. Gold consolidating at $4,000 is bullish. Markets end in blow-off tops, not plateaus. Central bank buying is a paradigm shift that can't be reversed. For Lobo, gold is savings, not speculation. On silver, he's a cautious bull, not a bear. Silver above $50 looks different from previous peaks, encouraging. But hidden supply exists, and copper mines will eventually flood the market with byproduct silver. His controversial take? The gold-silver ratio may never revert to historical norms because use cases have changed. Bottom line, Lobo owns physical silver and sees opportunity now, but warns the supply picture is more complex than silver bulls want to believe. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Fine Metal for more updates.
Gold is not something, this is again not original me, it's a Doug Casey, but gold is not something I buy because I think it's going higher, or rather because I think the dollar is going lower as a speculation or as an investment. Gold is something I buy because it's gold. I can hold it in my hand and it has value. I can be long and there's no counterparty short, there's no counterparty risk. And in case of emergency, I've got a rainy day fund. Or in case of a once in a lifetime opportunity, I've got that resource of last recall. And I have experienced both of those in my lifetime, the emergency and the opportunity type use of savings. So for all of that, none of this discussion about what might happen next or, none of that matters for that. The bulls here point out about this, but there is a lot of supply, physical supply, that is not counted as supply. And there's a big argument between, what's his name? The other silver guy that people hate even more than me from CPM Group.
Jeffrey.
Yes, right. And the Silver Institute and so on, and whether you count, investment silver as supply. And I have to say that I think Jeff has a point in that at the right price, people will sell their silver. I mean, it's just not true that all the bullion in the world out there none of it would come to market if there was a bid for it. And we see that, and we're not just talking grandma's teaspoons and stuff. I'm talking coins and bars. I mean, heck, they're bars. Coins are a little bit more painful to sell. Despite my Darth mantle, right? I don't want to sell my silver. The only one, like lithium is getting kind of hated, nickel too, but I don't see them turning around soon. I think oil is probably the one most likely to do that. Maybe when, I'm not sure. Maybe if the end of the war in Ukraine makes Trump decide that, okay, it's time to let the market rebalance. We don't need to punish Putin with low oil prices anymore. Maybe that would have a difference. But I don't know. I'm not going to pull out the magic 8 ball again. I'm looking for, I know I don't know where the bottom's going to be. I know I can't time this market. But when it looks like it's recovering, I think there will be a long way upward to go. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for evidence that we've carved out a bottom and that we're recovering. And I just don't see that yet.
Do you follow much of the oil to gold ratio? Do you factor that into your perspective or no?
No, I understand it, and I guess neither oil nor gold is going away, but the fundamentals for the markets can change. Like there's also the copper to gold ratio. And if the use cases change, then it makes sense for the ratio to change. And in a world where, and this is a Doomberg thing, where you really can't, there is no such thing as a silver mine. I mean, the highest grade silver mines in the world, they're still, basically lead or zinc mines, usually lead, like it's galena, lead sulfide that comes with super high grade silver. The purest precious metals mines out there are silver gold. But I can't think of a mine anywhere that's just silver and nothing else, like argentite and nothing else. There's always some other metal sulfide there. But anyway, in terms of the big silver mines or the high grade silver mines or the silver mines that can come online, it just so seems to be distributed. Well, first off, copper was also my pick for 2025, and gold and silver have outperformed copper, platinum, palladium as well. And a lot of people say, "Oh, gee, Lobo, you really got that wrong." Sure. If the question is which metal will go up the most in the year, yeah, I got that wrong. But when I say top pick, I don't say necessarily the one that will be the biggest hockey stick. It's a combination of outlook for upside and confidence in the thesis. In hindsight, we could say, well, gee, everything was, but I don't know that anybody knew that 2025 would work out the way it did. In hindsight, people would say, oh, I predicted this, but, that doesn't mean they really knew. It means they got lucky. But anyway, I was wrong for 2025, we could say. Though 25% increase for copper year to date is not bad. It did well. And actually, I did buy one copper stock, and it's doing well. So I haven't lost money here. Anyway. But the thesis is actually the same as it was before. Copper has been okay this year and done, relative slouch at 25% increase. But that's not based on any of the reasons, which were continued inflation, never mind the AI and the EVs and all that, but just the general progress, advancement, industrialization, a quarter of the world that's looking to raise its standard of living that requires a lot more copper. Population growth might be cooling in China and places, but overall the world is still growing, and Dr. Copper is essential. It's not an optional metal. It's like steel. Like you have to have it. So the general outlook was positive anyway, but also more specifically, the impetus was, I think all roads lead to inflation. I think the Trump agenda is inflationary. Doge didn't cut all that much. Europe's rearmament is inflationary. Russia's war is inflationary. Even China, that many of the best silver districts are in basket case countries or high political risk countries. So, if I wanted to try to if I really was a silver bear and I wanted to say, oh, well, there's all these, big silver deposits that they're going to respond to high prices, that argument would actually run into very sharp, pointy, counter arguments from the political risk in all these places. Bolivia has a lot of silver, some big silver projects, but that's a minefield. Mexico took a turn for the worse in the previous administration. There's an open question as to the new one. And let me digress a little bit on Mexico because people keep asking about this. Yes, I am aware that a junior miner got a permit for an open pit project in Mexico. That is absolutely encouraging. I am very glad to see this. They said no more open pit mines, and this is an open pit mine. This is material. It is one. It's not very large. And it's in an already disturbed mine site. Like one of the things that they have really dug their heels in is like no new projects, no greenfields. Well, if it's an existing mine or mine site, we'll think about it. So I don't see this as an entirely green light for the whole country. It is very positive if they keep doing this. There were also a bunch of water permits, but a water permit is not a mining permit. But it seems like the bark might be worse than the bite in Mexico. And if that's true, that would be great news for silver bulls.